Alrighty, hello everyone. My name is Luke Hogue. I'm Director of Solutions Engineering here at Sessionboard. Thank you for joining us this morning, this afternoon, this evening, or even those that are joining post webinar as well. We're looking forward for an hour today to share some of our new features with you all, as well as highlight how a lot of our enterprise customers are managing their abstracts, their session submissions, their speaker and content management as well. And then we'll wrap up the day with some of our new features that'll be coming out shortly regarding our AI agents, and the rest of the team will be jumping in to assist in that feature. All right, with today, some of the items that we will go ahead and highlight on here. We have our submission, so our call for papers, call for abstracts items. We want to go ahead and showcase the flexibility that there is in that case, how it can go ahead and mend to the different events that you are looking to execute. So whether you're collecting your abstracts, whether you're collecting sessions, combination of both, we want to make sure that you're able to easily manage those, collect those, evaluate those, and apply them to your program as well. We'll focus on a couple different personas today. You as the event organizer, your submitters, your authors, your speakers, then also their experience as the actual evaluator as well, and bring that all together in one central location for you. As we go through this, please go ahead and utilize the Q&A in the chat within here. We'll go ahead and save some time at the end to answer any of those questions. And if we do not make it to those questions, we will, of course, follow up post a webinar with the recording and answers to any of those outstanding questions as well. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Alrighty, so what we're looking at here is going to be your Sessionboard dashboard. This is your hub of all of your submissions coming in, where you build out your program, where you manage all of your speakers, anything and everything in between, all in one central location for you. Now, with this, couple different ways of how this information is populated. You as event organizers can always add one-off speakers or add one-off sessions or abstracts if necessary, but a big draw is that front-facing submission form. So what we're looking at here, this is that persona of a submitter, whether that's your authors coming in to submit their abstracts, whether it's a presenter going ahead and submitting their poster entities, your speakers submitting on sessions, or a combination of both across the board. This is one location to where you can fully brand it, customize it based on the information that you want to collect from them. So when we're looking at this, you have your branding across the board, your logos, your colors, your fonts, fully ensuring that your branding guidelines are met across the entirety of your event and at that very first touch point as well. Now, with this form, we have a couple different approaches regarding authentication. We know it's a key item that you may want to just have a username and a password. We can also lock this down via membership service. So if you're an association base and have an AMS that you want to go ahead and restrict those submissions to only your members, that can also be done as well and can fully be set up by our team in conjunction with your IT team to make sure that everything's set up efficiently. Now, on this next page in this specific form, I'm collecting information regarding a session and maybe a co-session or a panel submission or something along those lines. So I'm able to come in and provide all the information that you wish to collect. You can go ahead and implement conditional logic in here. We can implement character count limitations. Truly anything that you would like to go ahead and apply can be set up. So we've got custom drop downs that you can build. You can go ahead and have that conditional logic. So if they answer a certain way to a question, we can populate and ask additional questions as we go through as well. We can collect files throughout this process as well. You can implement your file size, file type limitations if desired. And then as we mentioned in this case, I can also collect subsessions in here. This could be something like a panel discussion or anything that way. And you as the event organizer, you always get to build out those limitations of how many subsessions can they apply or how many speakers can they add. And we can all build rules as that accordingly. Now, on that next page, I'm going ahead, in this case for this form, applying the different participants to it. So do I have speakers on this? Are they co-presenters, moderators? Do you call them authors? Anything that way? All of these items are fully customizable by you and your event admin team to make sure that the verbiage aligns with anything and everything that you're building out for your program. Now, when we go through this collection form here as well, I'm collecting the bio, maybe headshot, company. All of those are completely at your discretion. You get to pick and choose what we're collecting. You get to decide if it's required or optional. If you call it organization as opposed to company name, All of that fully customizable by you and the event team to make sure that it's aligning with the verbiage of your event and program. Down here, we have an example of a participant disclosure or a checkbox, completely optional again. But again, you get to build this out however you need to. Also, if you come to a point of, I don't necessarily need it right now and you want to collect it at a later date, always able to be done as well. We utilize our speaker portal or participant portal, and we'll showcase that in just a couple minutes for us as well. Now, within this form, we mentioned that you can have multiple running at one time. You may have instances to where you're only collecting information regarding their abstract or anything that way. So I'm toggling over to another tab just to show you another variety of this in here. So here for this abstract collection, I'm only collecting information on the abstract. I may not have a presenter. This is all just configuration that you'll be able to customize behind the scenes, and we'll make sure that you're guided and educated on how to implement this for your event requirements. In this case, I'm only requiring the title, but you can always require additional items if you want. And here I'm collecting methodology, the outcomes, dates, same thing. We can still implement that conditional logic, file collection, anything and everything that you wish to in here. But in this case, I'm just done with this after the abstract submission. I don't have additional participant collection in there. All of that is fully configurable by you all. So we wanted to make sure that we're giving you the flexibility that you need based on the different items that you want to go ahead and collect. So with this, we saw the submission persona and what that form looks like and the variety that can come into play. I want to go ahead and show you kind of the ease of use in building it. So as we mentioned, you can have various different forms running at one time in one event. They all still funnel into one location for you. So again, you can collect different questions here, collect different questions here, but it's still centralized into one dashboard, one central location for you across the board. Now, in this case, let me jump into the actual form building to just show you some of the flexibility and key items that you can do. So in here, we could identify, am I collecting abstracts? Am I collecting sessions? Do I want to collect participants? All just depends on what you're looking to collect from the get-go for it. As we come down, we get to customize the verbiage in here, all of the labels across it. And then same thing when it comes down to the actual form questions. Title is the only item that is absolutely required across the board. Everything else is at your discretion. So you get to pick the order of the questions we're asking. When we click into these questions, I can always customize the label, anything that way that you wish to go ahead and have. We can implement dividers, rich text, headers, everything that way. Again, just to ensure that that page and the formatting of everything is to your liking. Now, we also mentioned that we can have that conditional logic in here, so we can always utilize what we refer to as question rules to build out that logic. So if it's a certain format, if this is a panel discussion or a poster submission, we can ask qualifying questions based on the type of format or different tracks or things like that as well. Now on the next page, we're doing the same exact items regarding those participants. What fields do you want to collect for the participants? As we mentioned earlier, I get to go ahead and pick and choose what roles are available on this submission form. So if this is a poster submission and it's only a presenter and co-presenter, that can be identified. All of these labels for these are fully customizable by you all as well, just to ensure that the nomenclature of your event, your participants align with what you're looking to set up. You can implement logic here as well, so minimums and maximums based on the roles. We can have conditional questions, so they're only answering certain things if they are a primary speaker or if they are the primary presenter. But then co-presenters or co-speakers, I'm just asking a limited amount of questions, all configurable throughout the process as well. On the next page, we are able to go ahead and collect that submission fee if you wish. So we can go ahead and connect to your payment gateway. We can add pricing rules. We can include certain tax. We can also go ahead and accommodate promo codes, giving you the flexibility if you need to comp a speaker submission or comp a certain submission, you have the flexibility to do that directly within the system as well. We can always set up those deadlines, the submission limits as well to limit the number of submissions per individual. We can go ahead and set up certain items regarding your custom success email, so confirmation, as well as a confirmation email that goes out as well. And then lastly, we can go ahead and set up notifications directly in there. So you as the event admin team can always be alert and aware of when something is coming in regarding specific submission forms. Couple key items when looking at these submission forms. If you've built one that you love, you can always come in and duplicate that form and make small revisions, everything that way to go ahead and revise as you see fit. So again, just saving the team some time during the cloning and the duplication process so you have a foundation to build from time and time again. Now, with all of these submissions that are coming in, you oftentimes need to go ahead and evaluate these components. So with that, what I'm jumping into is my evaluator portal. So this is another persona in the process of it. Couple key items here is we are still seeing a branded portal across the board. So here your evaluators are authenticated in. You can go ahead and include additional pages in here that's providing information to them, anything that way. All of this is fully customizable by you and your team. Same thing, your logo, your branding, your colors. From point A to point Z, your branding across the board. Now, when I click into my actual evaluations, we can have multiple rounds of evaluations. I can be assigned to various ones. In this case, I have 3 different evaluation plans I'm assigned to. They could also only have one. Really just depends on what you choose to assign them to across the board. I'm able to see the status of mine, of what's in progress, what's completed, everything that way. When I click into these, I'm able to see the different information that you as the event admin choose to expose to me. So when I click into the respective card, I can see the description of the submission. I can see the different participant details if you wish to allow me to see these items. I have my scoring over here on the right-hand side. This could be something that is on a scale of 1 to 5 drop down. It could be 1 to 10, custom open text drop downs as well. Just really depends on what you're looking to evaluate on, the rubrics and everything that way. You can always include robust instructions in here, just providing the guidance and information that you desire to share with your evaluators. And your evaluators have some ease items for their navigation. So they can always filter on certain items if you would allow them to. They can always come up and sort alphabetically. Or let's say they're traveling and executing this on a plane, they can always print PDF and then come back in bulk and make these easy edits as they go through as well. So a lot of flexibility just to ensure that that evaluator process and experience is a positive and branded one across the board for you. Now, with all of these evaluation plans that you can have running, you can go ahead and have evaluation plans set up per track, per individual, anything that way, just giving you the flexibility that you need. So in this case, I want to go ahead and jump in as an event admin so that you can see what we're looking at. So here, when I'm building out these evaluation plans, I can go ahead and decide if I want it percent based, points based, anything to fit the scoring and the rubric that I would like. Now here, when I'm looking at my different review committee options, I can go ahead and see the different scorecards. In this case, I've got about 5 questions with open text, everything that way. You get to fully customize these items as well. So what is the question? Is it a scale of 1 to 10, 1 to 5, custom drop downs, anything and everything to fit your rubric needs? And something to keep in mind is the questions that you're asking on this evaluation plan here could be completely different from your evaluation plan over here. You may have one for abstract grading, while one is for your general session submissions. Fully customizable, and they can all run in parallel, or it could be round-based to where they go ahead and proceed forward to a new one each time as well. Let me go ahead and authenticate with my passkey for us. Other items when looking at all of these is we want to go through the flexibility of how you can go ahead and assign your evaluators. So you can have round-based evaluation within Sessionboard. So round A may just be the general review committee that's coming in, and I have 5 different people on that. But then when coming in and looking at our final reviews, we only have 3. All of that is fully configurable by you, and you get the customization that you need for it. And then lastly is the flexibility of those assignments for it. Am I looking at all the submissions that are coming in? Do I want to filter by a specific track or a specific format? So am I only looking at posters in this case, or am I only looking at track A submissions? You get to go ahead and pick and choose what aligns with your evaluation plans. We can also go ahead and set this up to where you're getting a limited number of evaluators per submission, or we could flip it and go ahead and say there's a max number that each reviewer is going to get. Also, if we need to get as granular as individually assigning, you can always do that as well. We wanted to make sure that we're giving you all the potential opportunities to assign and divvy up those submissions to the respective evaluators as you see fit. And then as you go through, you will see a recap of all of your different evaluation items over here and the assignments so that you can easily review and go ahead and submit those out. Now, Couple other items that come into play when working on the submissions as they're coming in. They'll all come in that pending review status, but you will, once they're completed in their evaluation, you can always come in and change the status of them accordingly. Another key item that we always want to highlight in here is the ease of converting your abstracts or your subsessions or anything that way into your overall session blocks. So here what I'm looking at is just a general session that we've created, and now I know that I want to go ahead and convert and take some of these abstracts and turn them into one larger panel session. So in this case, I could easily come in, I can search for the existing one. Here are those three panels that I want to go ahead and convert. I can go ahead and hit confirm, and that allows for them to go ahead and link accordingly with that session. And I'm moving those abstracts up into that one larger session now. So again, all of your ease of editing, manipulating your programs, scheduling your sessions, and everything can be done directly within the Sessionboard platform. Now, when it does come to those editing or the building of your agenda and the program items, what we're looking at here is our agenda list view. So I can always come in and I can make edits in line here. We can also support bulk editing components just to save that team some time. Some bulk actions are always supported within the platform. And then some other key items is you get to always pick and choose what fields you want to expose, what fields you want to showcase directly within these dashboards. You can sort in specific ways, you can filter accordingly as well. And then you get to go ahead and save those different sessions. So if you have a team member that is focusing solely on one specific track, or if they're focusing only on main stage sessions or sponsored sessions, all of those items can be accommodated and they can save different views that are surfacing the details that are pertinent to them and their role as well. Now, in addition to this view of what we're looking at here in the list view, we also have a click, drag, and drop calendar. So we have a day, week, month, and room view of this. So when looking at this, it's a click, drag, and drop experience, so I can manipulate my program accordingly. We have a week view, a little bit more zoomed out in that case for us. We have a month view, which is extremely zoomed out. And then lastly, a room view, which is going to go ahead and give me a breakdown of every single session that is taking place or every single abstract or poster that is placed on our agenda directly within the respective room and the time block of it. We have this both in a horizontal and vertical per day. So it really just depends what works best for you visually when building out your agenda so that you can still experience that click, drag, and drop and building out to your liking. Now, over here on the right-hand side, when looking at it, we will tee up any unscheduled sessions. So here's that larger session that we just built out. So I can now just click it, drag it, and bring it onto our program as we see fit, wherever we would like. We will also go ahead and call out any conflicts in here. So if you have a speaker, presenter, co-author, anything that way that is double booked or a room that is double booked at the same time, it'll go ahead and illuminate that conflict so that you can rectify that data, make any changes that are necessary as well. Couple other key items to highlight in here is when we're looking at all of these different color items, you get to go ahead and customize those. So you get to pick and choose what we are organizing the different color coordination for. We can also go ahead and opt to show different items on these session cards. So what's most beneficial for you to see? Does it help to show the speakers on here? Is it beneficial to show the track of the session? You get to pick and choose up to 3 different items that you would like to highlight and illuminate on that respective session card for you as well. Now, when we're looking at the different filters as well, so those list filters that we were mentioning earlier, if we're implementing any filters here of just a specific track or anything that way, those will carry over to your click, drag, and drop agenda as well. So again, just making it as simple and easy for different team members to curate the program entities that are most pertinent for them. Now, other item that we want to go ahead and highlight in here is that overall speaker participant management. So a key item is their session or their submission has come in. They have submitted all the details for their abstract, and you need to collect additional information at this point. So with that, we have our participant portal. Again, great opportunity for your branding across the board, your colors, everything to be implemented and consistent across the entirety of the event. Now, when we scroll through here, I'm now in as a participant. I can see the session or the abstract that I'm a part of. I can see details that you wish to expose to me. So you get to fully choose what you would like to show to me in this case. Same thing for my overall profile. You get to identify what I can and cannot see and what I can and cannot do within this space. So if you want to lock down certain fields and not allow me to edit them, you can do so. Great way to share additional information or collect additional information directly within here. One call out for a lot of our large enterprises or companies that are running events year over year or multiple events throughout the year. If they are utilizing the headshot, the bio, their email, company, job title, those are all what we refer to as global fields here at Sessionboard. So each time they're coming in, they're not needing to repopulate those every single time. You, as the event organizer, always have that on record at that global level so that you can go ahead and repurpose said profile time and time again, and you're not starting from scratch every single time with your event. Um, that ties directly within to the Sessionboard speaker CRM and database, and there's more details on that, and we'll be sure to follow up as well. As well as when we scroll down in this portal, we have our different tasks. We have two different approaches to tasks at Sessionboard. We have our session level tasks. So things, items such as what are your AV requirements, what are your logistical needs for this, please provide your presentation, anything along those lines that live within that session or abstract record for you. And then we also have individual based tasks. What days are you arriving? What are your hotel requirements? Please register for the event, schedule your sound check, anything that is more pertinent to just that individual contact record. Now, all of these different tasks can take a couple different approaches. So we can go ahead and link out to third-party entities if necessary. We could collect additional details via a form component. So whether it's their headshot, open text, signatures for agreements, all of those could be done directly within platform. Or we can also go ahead and complete file collection. So file collection, you can provide a sample of what a template would look like. You can add in your criteria. You can drop in the files. You can implement those file types and file size limitations. And you can always message back and forth with the submitter of that file until it's finalized and approved to your liking as well. All of these tasks in here can have due dates. You can offer due date extensions if you wish, fully customizable, and you can assign one-off tasks based on your requirements, based on the type of speaker they are, based on the type of session they're participating in, or anything along those lines. Additionally, regarding any of the notification to your speakers and the comms to your speakers, we can also automate reminders for them so that they receive a weekly reminder just notifying them of what items they still need to complete for their respective abstract or submissions. Last two items we have down here within this speaker portal is going to be just wiki pages. These are full HTML formatting supported in here. You can iframe directly within as well. So a great way for you to go ahead and share additional information with these speakers. Think FAQs, maybe drop in a little video that you want to provide them with as a reference, anything and everything that you would like to share directly within. And then also we have files over here. These are files that you wish to share with them. This could be supported of a exhibit hall map, or if it's a link that you want to go ahead and send them out to additional items, that can also be supported as well. Just really depends on what information you would like to showcase and share with your participants for your event. Now, with all of these different portals, you as the event organizer need insight into what they have done or what they haven't done so far. So with that, when we go ahead and toggle over to our speakers in this case, we now see a list view of all of our speakers or our list of participants in here. So what I've done, very similar to that list view that we referenced over on our agenda side, I've now curated a list view for speaker task tracking. I'm surfacing the fields of all of those task components that my speakers are working on or my participants are working on. I can also go ahead and filter on them so I can easily come in, look for a respective field. So I can say if they have incompleted that one or if that task is still incomplete, I can filter down accordingly. I can then take action. I can email, I can send them templatized communication. We can always go ahead and utilize merge tags in here to make sure that they are personalized of who they're going to and be received by. These emails can also come from your organization domain. So to ensure the branding across the board, you'll always have the ability to go ahead and communicate accordingly with your speakers. Now, when we're looking at all of those individual speaker profiles, as we referenced earlier as well, we want to go ahead and be sure that you have all of the information that is pertinent to you. So we reference those global fields, so those headshots, those bios, everything that way. That'll store on the overall profile. So therefore, you can go ahead and represent it on your websites, within your mobile apps, or anything that way. Same thing for all of those session records as well. So we have native integrations that you can leverage to outsource or go ahead and send your information to those in destinations for your attendee consumptions. All right. Last couple items that we'll touch on for today before we kick it over for some Q&A. When looking at all of this information, you easily have all of your reporting directly within the dashboards for you. So you'll have standard reports that you can leverage at any time, or you can always build a custom report. So you'll be able to come in and speak in layman's terms of what you're looking for. We can prompt it. We can build custom reports as well, just to ensure that you have all the data that is necessary for you across the board. So whether it's a speaker's report, a sessions report, anything that way, you can always build those out, and we will teach you how to build those reports as well. Everything that you're seeing today is fully accessible to you all. You're not waiting for us to build you anything, and we'll make sure that you are onboarded and enabled to execute anything and everything that you are seeing today. Last couple items in here as well that we want to go ahead and touch on is just the overall history of everything that you have. You'll have a full snapshot of anything and everything that has changed within your event. So any of your admin team member changes, anything from your speaker or participant side, you'll have full visibility into what changed, who changed it, and when across the board as well. Alrighty, so let's jump in and answer a couple questions here for about 5-ish minutes, and then we'll go ahead and kick it over to Josh, and we'll go ahead and tee up some items in future state of what's coming. All right, let me pull up our Q&A for us.
There's a lot of good questions.
All right, perfect. Let's see.
A lot of them have been in the chat. Thank you,
Okay.
everyone. Like these have been great. A lot of questions, Luke, around SSO. If you can talk a little bit more about that. And hi, everyone. I'm Josh. Nice to meet you and see you again. So I oversee product and engineering. And Luke, I think if you can talk about SSO in the portal again and the admin experience, and then some of the functionality related to that from member versus non-member again would be helpful.
Most definitely. So when looking at SSO, we have multiple different areas of how SSO can be enabled within the platform. So let me give you some examples. So we really have 3 different instances. We have to where it can be enabled for your submitter or participants. So right here on this page, that submission form, at this point, it knows I'm Luke. I'm already authenticated in. This is an area to where it could be locked down via SSO or that single sign-on entity. So utilizing your AMS or your membership service, this could be one area to where it's locked down. Your overall admin dashboard. So where you are as an event admin, that can also be locked down via SSO for you and your team to authenticate in and then be redirected to your Sessionboard dashboard. We have this speaker portal or the participant portal. This is another area that can be locked down via SSO. So they can authenticate via the IDP that you all utilize. And then the last one is going to be the overall evaluator portal as well. So this portal that we're seeing here can also be locked down via that single sign-on entity, just depending on what you need. Some other key items that come into play when utilizing SSO. We can build rules based on your membership items. So if you charge a fee for your member or your non-members, but then it is comped or free based on their membership status or anything that way, that is also able to be taken into consideration during the SSO process in that submission form. For SSO, we support SSO via OIDC and SAML. And that is something that we will work in tandem with your IT team to make sure that it's implemented, set up, and tested across the board for all of your events and organization as well.
Yeah, great call-outs. And I know Valerie had a great question about, let's say I submit something at joshparolin@gmail.com. That's my email, actually. And I submit something, and then, but later I submit something under a different email. What are options that we have for changing that email and getting that attributed to the proper email that the submitter wants?
Yeah, most definitely. Couple different questions here is what we would ask of what is the correct email? Are you wanting to store the historical context of it? Everything that way. So when we're looking at all of our different contacts, we are able to merge contacts directly within the system as well. So we can always come in and identify additionals. If they have any, we'll identify matches up to 80%. And then we can merge and say, I want to keep this field from this email, this field from this email to ensure that they merge accordingly. But then any of their submissions or the data that they're associated with would carry over with them as well. So it just gives you ease of mind that you can merge those if they're from company A this year, but company B next year, you can still merge them accordingly. And that email is the unique identifier across the board. So if you do want to keep two in that case, just for your historical purposes, that's always possible too.
So, Valerie, hopefully that was helpful. Definitely always open to feedback for how we can continue to make that easier as well. Luke, let's see here. Round-based review. Can you talk about just why someone might use rounds in the evaluation process and
Most
what that helps enable?
Yeah, of course. So when looking at round evaluation, oftentimes you'll see that you may do a first pass or a last pass or kind of your final committee review, anything that way. So when we're introducing the round components, that allows for you to go ahead and kind of stair step through the process with your events. So you may have a waitlisted group of abstracts. You may have first round acceptance, anything that way. This allows for kind of like a late breaking approach to it or early submissions or anything that way that are coming in. Same thing when looking at the evaluation process of it. You could go ahead and have 150 on your first review, but then you're only pushing through 50. And then to your final round, you're only pushing through 20 because that's the only spot that you have for 20 posters or 20 abstracts to showcase directly on site. So when we're building out these items, let me go ahead and show you. We can set up and tee up these rounds in a couple different ways. So we could go ahead and set it up to where parallel, in this case, to mean multiple different rounds can all be happening in parallel. Or we could also run through the funnel approach to where they must be advanced by you and the team. And you get to say, yes, these 100 are advancing to round two, and then these 20 are advancing to round three. Really just gives you the flexibility based on what you're looking to achieve. And again, you can run multiple different evaluation plans, all focusing on different tracks, different submission types, different questions, different rounds, different number of rounds as well. And there's no limitation to how you can build that out or kind of the stair-stepping process that you want to go through.
Um, and as far as, and Margaret, let me make sure I get this one right, but customizing what fields are shown when viewing a submission. Assuming you mean, well, I guess let's go through it all. Let's go through the evaluator side. How can we control what fields are shown to evaluators on the submission, on the page you're on there?
Totally. So I'm going to show you the front-facing view of what the evaluator sees, and then I'll show you how we configure those in the back end. So when we're looking at this, we call this the session card. And then when we click in here, we have all of these details here. So we have our submission details, our participant details, and our scoring submission, or like our rubric. So now when we're looking at the build of this, I can go ahead and build out that scorecard. This is the information that we are seeing directly over here on that right-hand panel. Now, as I come down, I'm able to also choose what fields I want to make viewable regarding the submission. So in this case, I only have these 5 items highlighted, but I can always opt to go ahead and show additional information if desired. So whatever information helps your evaluators truly execute their evaluation, you can go ahead and surface. You can pick and choose the order of them, everything that way. Same principle applies for those participants. So you can pick and choose what information you would like to go ahead and highlight and show over here. We can also hide any PII if you want to ensure that there's no bias or anything that way. And then when we're looking at the filterable fields, you get to pick and choose what they can or cannot filter on. So right now we have track and format highlighted. And then we also have those submission card fields. Right now I'm highlighting title, format, and track. So when we come over here and look at our submissions, we have our format and track and title highlighted. I can filter on track and format, and then I can always go ahead and sort by my alphabetical, track, or format as well. So all of those items are fully configurable. You get to pick and choose what you expose, what you would allow them to see, and what you would allow them to grade on as well.
Great. And then from an admin perspective, if I only want to see some fields as an admin and not all of them in the record settings on the admin side, how does that look in the session sidebar if I only want to see 10 fields all the time?
Most definitely. So when looking at this, I'm able to always click into these sessions and see multiple different items over here. Also, when we're choosing to show and hide different columns here within your list view, but also when I come in and add a session over here, these are what we refer to as like the record fields for it. So you can always configure these record settings across the board. So when you're coming in and adding a new abstract or a new session, what are the required fields that you need to go ahead and show and hide? So you can go ahead and pick and choose what is available for you to go ahead and edit and fulfill over on that right-hand column based on the session, based on the abstract, if it's a contact field when you're adding a new speaker, anything that way. So again, you can surface the information that is most pertinent to you that you are requiring to have for your speaker profiles or your participant profiles or your sessions or anything that way as well.
Awesome. And one thing that I know we have a really it's been baked in for a couple years now, but around IDs, abstract and session IDs, Luke, if someone wants to control the prefix to those IDs, how would they go about that?
Yeah, so out of the box, we go ahead and support the session prefix, your contact prefix, or a group for like the sponsors, exhibitors. But you can always come in and go ahead and set these. We do support 3 to 6 characters in this case, so that you can go ahead and customize that prefix for it. So what that prefix is when we click into one of these items for us, it'll be that SES 130 in this case. So you could customize this original prefix to make sure that it's aligning with your verbiage or your program setup too.
And that client ID right there in the sidebar. So we definitely recognize that like a lot of times you don't want to use our IDs. That is okay. You can have your own IDs and use them, and we expose them via the public API. We can use them in integrations. It's really flexible and up to how you all want to see the IDs represented, right? So this client ID field, Luke, what are some ways that folks have used that?
Yeah, so oftentimes we see some clients that utilize ID for specific on-site scanning they want to execute. They may have different items that they group tracks by different IDs as well. So they have multiple different layers to unique identifiers in that case. We may see that utilized to where they align certain ticket types with certain types of IDs as well. So a lot of different items. This is a alphanumeric field that is open text so that you are able to utilize IDs that are pertinent to you. So really just depends on what you're looking to achieve, but oftentimes just a conversation that you can have with our CS team or the greater whole of the team as well to best brainstorm of your options and how it can complete the desired goal.
What other questions does anyone have around evaluation, session submissions, anything at all before we kind of dive into AI agents?
I think I saw one question in here regarding submitting on behalf of someone. So yes, in this case, I'm the submitter. We do store those records separately. So we have a submitter record, we have our participant records of various different roles. So in this case, I can come through and identify the additional participants that I would like to add in here. I do not have to be one of those participants in this case. But an alternative item that can also be utilized in here, we call it a secondary contact. Think of this as an EA or an assistant, somebody behind the scenes. They can jump into the participant portal, complete some tasks, help that speaker or participant complete those items that you need, but their headshot's not going online. Their bio's not being sent to your website or anything that way. Truly just a helping hand behind the scenes to make sure that those participants are completing the items that you need. So a couple different items, and those can all be configured. This can be toggled on or off per your event as well if desired. Alrighty. Looks like that's a lot of the questions. If there are any that we did miss, we will go through, we'll skim through
There,
the transcript for it as well to go ahead and pull those out and follow up.
there's one that just came through in the Q&A. real quick. On the admin side of our view of the submitted session, is there a way to customize the fields that are shown? Yeah, so you can use the record settings in the admin to control those fields, whatever you want to show there. We have a lot of wordy agreements our speakers need to agree to. Definitely understood. We've seen it all, but the volume of text makes it hard to view all the session details. And so we do, yeah. So you can control which fields show, and then you can view it in the sidebar or the profile. Luke, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, so couple different items, and I would love to chat through of like what you're looking to
Mhm.
achieve and how this can best be surfaced. Because when we're looking at our overall portal in here, let me jump into the media agreement. So while I'm agreeing to a lot of wordy components, this participant media release, all of these items, all that you're seeing in the database behind the scenes is media release signature as a field. This is rich text directly within here. So there may be an opportunity to kind of streamline this. So they complete this agreement form, they sign it or they check the box. You have a PDF copy of it, while said submitter of the form also receives a PDF copy of it with the timestamp. But in the back end of the database, you're seeing just one respective field. So when I'm looking at all of my speakers, one of my fields is going to be media release signature that I can surface in here. So it could be just the checkbox. It could be just their signature or anything that way. And it's not going to compile a ton of that extra rich text regarding the legalities or what they're actually agreeing to. Just the label letting you know, yes, it's been done. Yes, they've completed the signature or a checkbox accordingly. So definitely something would love to chat on to kind of identify what the desired outcome is. But I think there's some opportunities to where we can clean up data and make it more easily visualized within the system.
Awesome. So hopefully that was helpful. Great question.
All
Yeah,
right. So with that, I will stop sharing my screen and I will go ahead and kick it over to you, Josh.
thank you very much. Yes, you can use videos for submissions as well, up to 4 GB. If you want to go beyond 4 gigs, let us know. But usually we don't see anyone go above that, or links or anything as well. Let me share my screen here. I'm going to share sound. There's sound in this one, so we'll see how that goes. Um, we'll start here. Let's start here actually on the agent screen. So one thing, well, before I do that, I want to advertise. We have our content labs. So if you haven't seen, I posted the link in the chat. But so a lot of us were in Chicago last week, and if you were there, amazing to see you, and New York as well. And so our content labs are focused on getting folks together, the content professionals, event marketers, in the same room. It's usually 30 to 40 people. And we only talk about Sessionboard the last 5 to 10 minutes, but it's really about sharing problems that you all see kind of in your own industry and in your own day to day, and then coming up with solutions to those. It's really eye opening. It was really both fun and enlightening to attend last week. So hopefully we'll see you there, but you can see a lot of us at any of these locations. And if you don't see your location, nominate your city because we would love to expand it. But I would love to talk about AI agents today and what we're rolling out here. So these will be rolled out in our early access program starting next week. And I'll talk about our team lead agent actually last because that's what brings it all together. But let's go to the next one here. We've created these event agents, and a lot of you have probably seen our studio program, right? So we've had remixing and AI evaluators now for the past year, along with our AI agenda builder. Taking that to the next level, really these are little robots, if you will, that should work around the clock for you, right? They should be able to take off a lot of the lower level tasks that honestly probably take up a lot of your time, from building your agenda, from making sure all your content is in the same voice, from evaluating things through different personas. And then speaker inbound, right? Participant inbound, author inbound, exhibitor inbound, sponsor inbound, all of this stuff that gets sent to you, and you're like, it takes up half your day when could probably be handled differently. And so Well, I'll go through these event agents that we're rolling out here, and they will be available to anyone on Sessionboard. It's not some special plan that you have to use them. So the first one is our coordinator agent. We built the coordinator agent really focused around what I was talking about, like taking the lift off you all for that first line of, hey, I'm a speaker. Here's my headshot in your email, even though there's a speaker portal. Uh, and then also just the follow up with speakers. Let's say, when I say speakers, any of your participants in your abstracts or sessions. And so we actually have an inbox in the product that an agent runs, and it drafts up emails outbound to your participants. And we'll actually follow up with them and say, hey, Luke, it looks like you have some tasks coming up. Please click here to go to your portal. By the way, you can insert anything about your event that you want to communicate with the speaker too, maybe logistics about arriving on site or parking or anything like that. And so all of that is baked into the product here. I'll show you, right? So think about this as almost reminder plans 5.0 or reminders 5.0. This is not a weekly reminder. These are actual emails that get drafted to your speakers here, right? And that they aren't sent automatically. You have full visibility into these. You come in every morning, there's a list of drafts ready to send, and it can send on any cadence that you see fit. Maybe you want to send emails or have it checked to send an email every week or every 3 days. Maybe as it gets closer to the event, it's like, we probably need to send an email every day because I really need that bio and that headshot. So it's completely flexible up to how you see the world and you run your event. And it also facilitates responses back into the product. Let's say an email goes out to Josh, reminding him of, hey, you've got some stuff overdue. Josh responds with his headshot in the actual email attached and his bio that he copied from Microsoft Word and pasted in the email. No problem. The coordinator agent will actually pick up on that and pull that out and then present it to you, the admin, saying, hey, Josh sent in this headshot and bio. Do you want to go ahead and attach that to Josh's profile in the system? Right? And so really understanding that, yes, the portal is great, but at the end of the day, a lot of times speakers don't always use the portal when they should. And so this gives you another way to facilitate that inbound of information while also nudging them, right, in a more proactive manner. So this, like, really excited about the feedback as you all dive in and start getting hands-on with this. Again, we're looking at taking this to sponsors as well, exhibitors, anyone that's really kind of sending you a lot of emails. Not your boss, though. I'm sorry. Only participants. But then let's go look at the next agent here. So the editor agent. If you've been in the product, you've kind of known this as remixing, right? This will now be an agent that runs around the clock. Anytime a session or abstract is updated or submitted, you can control and say, hey, I want you to make sure everything, all my descriptions, my bios, my titles, that they always have my events voice, my brand voice, right? Here's my brand kit. I always want to make sure things are looking the same. A lot of times we see all my titles should be in all uppercase. Great. The editor agent can help you with that. Or, hey, I integrate with this system. The character count is always 302 characters. Editor agent, I need you to always make sure that our session titles match that character limit. And so again, this agent will always keep you in the loop. It'll run and present you with modifications and updates that it thinks it should make. And then you just say, yep, looks good. And you can do it in bulk as well. So very different than our current remix process, where it's very manual and takes 20 clicks, to be honest. This will run for you around the clock. The next one here, and Luke called this out a little bit earlier, we rolled this out, the first version of this last year called AI Evaluators. And this takes that again and makes it really an agent that runs for you around the clock. When you think about looking at your submissions, your abstracts, your sessions through the lens of your different personas. Let's say a persona, it might be an attendee, like saying, hey, I want you to evaluate all of my submissions as an attendee to my conference or to my event and give me your feedback. And here are the questions that I want you to answer about all of these submissions. So anytime a new submission is submitted, you could have your attendee persona or your SME, your subject matter expert persona, or your own, let's say, 10 months from now persona, a persona that tries to look into the future and says, yes, this topic is still relevant or not, right? So it's really up to you all and how you see the world and how you want input into your program. And so these, you can create a number of different reviewer agents here that can run and give you feedback and scores. Another great use case here is flagging. Let's say you have submissions come in, you always want to see like a pre-score, right? You want to see, I just want to quickly separate things and really know what I need to send to my evaluators. First, maybe it's lower scoring and I need to review manually. So you can get that initial pulse check and score via this as well. And so the next one here that I'll talk about is the team lead. The team lead agent oversees your coordinator agent, editor agent, reviewer agent. We're also working on our scheduler agent, which will help you optimize your agenda and build drafts of your schedule based on your rules for your event, right? So probably today, a lot of times your agenda starts with sticky notes up on a whiteboard or something similar. And you have rules in your head or in a spreadsheet saying, well, I don't want this session to go in this day in this room because of X. You're actually able to get those rules into the system, into Sessionboard, and have an agent handle suggestions to the scheduling in your agenda based on those rules. And so there's a lot more to come around that we'll share with you as well. And so the team lead, you shouldn't really have to care about however many agents we add, right? You should only have to care about, well, you've got your team lead agent, and the team lead agent cares about all the rest, right? And so as we look at it here, the team lead agent gives you a synopsis every day as you come in saying, hey, here's the only thing you need to care about across your agents. Beyond that, it also gives you a daily briefing.
Good morning. Here's your update on the Global Tech Stack Conference. Your speaker coordinator has been busy working through your speaker roster. The coordinator completed a comprehensive review of all 37 speakers and identified some critical gaps that need your.
And that's not me doing that voice on that recording. That's an actual agent. That's actually reporting up from all of your event agents, right? Every morning, not everyone wants a morning voicemail from a robot, but if you want it, it's there for you. Gives you that daily briefing. And then really focuses you on, hey, here's the only stuff that you need to care about. Let's say, here's an email follow-up that's going out, or the editor agent is suggesting these improvements, right, to your content. Great, I like it, approve. Maybe you want to make a change to it. Maybe you want to discard the change. So really trying to focus on how can we handle a lot of that stuff around the clock for you, whether it's edits to your submissions, looking at your submissions through a different light, and your presenters, and also helping you optimize your schedule. And then how do we reduce the number of clicks and the time it takes you then to have to care about that? So you are always in the loop. You're always in the middle. We do not train with any of your data in the AI world, and we'll follow up with a full breakdown of how we go about working with AI technologies to help better understand that as well. So please, as you dive in, let us know any feedback. If you want a demo of it and you aren't in the system today, happy to walk you through it all as well. So we have a lot more coming out there, including helping you find speakers for your event. There's things we're doing there around our Scout agent, and then also our competitor agent helping monitor other shows and events like yours. Who's speaking at those events? What are they talking about? What topics? How does that compare to my event, right? Am I saying the same things as an event that just happened 2 months ago? So we're doing a lot at the organization level as well that we'll share on a next webinar. So keep us posted. Any feedback? Thank you for being here. And Luke, I will kick it back to you.
All right, awesome. Well, As Josh mentioned, a lot of more items coming right around the corner for us, so please keep your eyes open. We will be setting up a full webinar fully on the AI agents, diving in more granularly on those items as well. We will be sure to follow up with this recording to share that with everyone. And then in addition, if you have any questions that come up in the meantime or anything along those lines, please feel free to reach out to the Session Board team and we'd be happy to assist. And we hope to see you at one of our upcoming event content labs soon. Alrighty. Thank you all. Have a great rest of your day.